with breaking news.
You are resuscitating the economy and making sure the ordinary people are carried along.
You're watching the Hallowed Chambers on TVC News. I am Tijesu Adeoye.
Be for an act to authorize the issuance from the Consolidated Revenue Fund account the total sum of 28 trillion 777 billion 404 million 73,861.
The Senate, in the Committee of the Whole, considered the request of Mr. President on the securitization of the sum of 7 trillion 388 billion 696 million 34,520 naira 87 kobo in the Consolidated Revenue Account of the Federation, and approved the request of the Commander-in-Chief and Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, will the Senate confirm the approval of the sum of 7 trillion 388 billion 696,034 696 million 34,000. Let me take it again. 7 trillion 388 billion 696,000 million 34,520 naira 87 kobo as securitization as requested by Mr. President and approved in the Committee of the Whole. Will the Senate confirm this? Those who are in support of the confirmation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The sum of 7 trillion 388 billion 696 million 34,520 naira 87 kobo is hereby approved for securitization and confirmed.
May I move that this Senate do receive the report of the Senate Committee on Appropriation on the 2024 Appropriation Bill. Mr. President, distinguished colleague, I so move. Alongside with the revenue profile, I so move.
Stand to second the motion as requested by the Chairman of Appropriation Committee to lay the report on the 2024 Appropriation Bill.
The Speaker, I rise to move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Appropriations on a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 28 trillion 777 billion 444 million 742 billion 786 million 73 million 86 million 788,150 naira only is for statutory transfers. 8 trillion 270 billion 960 million 606,831 naira only is for debt service. 8 trillion 768 billion 513 million 380,852 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure. while the sum of 9,905,198,298,028 naira only is for contribution to the Development Fund for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2024. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable colleagues, it is my pleasure to report that the House, in the Committee of the Supply, considered the report of the Committee on Appropriation on a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund from the Federation, the total sum of 28,777,404,073,861 naira only, of which 1,742,786,788,150 naira only is for statutory transfers. 8,270,960,606,831 naira only is for debt service. 8,768,513,380,852 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 9,995,143,298,028 naira only is for contribution to the Development Fund for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st day of December 2024, and approved recommendations as follows. Clause 1 to 13, the schedule, explanatory memorandum, and the long title of the bill act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation to the total sum of 28,777,404,073,861 naira only, of which 1,742,786,788,150 naira only is for statutory transfers. 8,270,960,606,831 naira only is for debt service. 8,768,513,380,852 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 9,995,143,298,028 naira only is for contribution to the Development Fund for capital expenditure for the year ending on 31st day of December 2024.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Appropriations on bill for an act to authorize the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 28,777,404,073,861 naira only, of which 1,742,786,788,150 naira only is for statutory transfers. 8,270,960,660,831 831 naira only is for debt service. 8,768,513,380,852 naira only is for recurrent non-debt expenditure, while the sum of 9,995,143,298,028 naira only is for contribution to the Development Fund for the capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2024. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
The National Assembly is a busy place. As the bastion of democracy, it is a place where bills are presented, motions debated, laws made, and the yearnings of the people are laid bare. Come with us as we take you through the workings of the National Assembly. We take you through plenary, committee meetings, and probes, all to ensure smooth working of the democratic process.
Person, the leadership in particular, Honorable Minister of Economic Planning and Budget, the Coordinating Minister of Finance and for the Economy, National Security Advisor, PS, State House, and I think Chief of Staff and all of you here, and the National Chairman of my party. Please forgive me, I was not looking up. I'm glad you are here. The chair. Of course, other senior government officials. It is Happy New Year for every one of us. And I wish you a very prosperous one. It is a promising year for people to even be able to gather, put their energy in place, their thought in place, in the national interests of this country. Today, the first holiday on the calendar. Thank you very much. I want to say, when I presented the budget on the 29th of November 2023, I presented 27.5 and left room. And I called for expeditious, treatment of the budget, the review, the passing, the debate, and all of that. Today we have a budget of 28.7 trillion naira, with an increase of 1.2 trillion naira over the proposal that I submitted. I thank the National Assembly for this prompt review, adjustment, and what they deem necessary. This is an evidence and a great testament to the excellent relationship between the executive and the legislature. We should keep it up. In my address then, I remarked that the budget is a budget of renewed hope. It's anchored on reducing the deficit and increasing capital expenditure, particularly in our priority areas. The approved 2024 budget that we just approved now achieve both objectives. It contains a good increase in the capital side, a reduction in recurrent expenditure, And it brought down the deficit from 6.11% to 3.88%. That, to me, that's an achievement. Yeah, we can debate the area of economic thinking, whether capital expenditure and reduction in the current means what. Is subject of interpretation. It means a lot. It means where the hope is hanged in development, and particularly human capital development. When you pay attention to education, health, and road infrastructure, you are resuscitating the economy and making sure the ordinary people are carried along. Let me take one of it. Why we take power and steel and other projects, one of the priority areas we just passed is the 100 billion naira provision for the feeding of school children. I mean, that's a stimulant that we encourage our attendants and others. I've been meeting with local government and subnational level so that we can collaborate and jointly brought an inclusive, all-inclusive program that we have. Yes, pleased with what you've done with the judiciary and other areas. All other detail we mentioned future. I cannot, however, conclude my remark without going that a budget is only as good as its implementation. We will implement this. I want to assure the Nigerians that all the MDAs and our teams have been warned. That's why we even take our time to separate economic planning from finance. MDAs must have regular report of the budgetary performance in the area that we put in place to help ordinary Nigerians. The goal is to promote efficiency, dedication, and accountability. If you cannot do that, you may have to leave us to do the job on your behalf. Signing the Appropriation Act today is a great honor because to me as a politician and head of state, there is no holiday when I was campaigning for this job. I made a pledge that I will commit myself fully, and I thank the team members, particularly Wale Edun-Atiku Bagodu, the National Assembly leadership, all of you, who, I know what today means to everybody. And weeks before today, when I brought the budget, is like, can we meet the 1st of January? Can we meet the end of December? all in question marks.
We just finished witnessing the historic signing of the 2024 budget by Mr. President. He commended the hard work of the National Assembly for the expeditious manner in which the budget was treated. He also noted the slight increase in the budget, which was to take care of human capital development and take care of the needs of Nigerians, particularly the school feeding, the security situation in the country, and all that, and he was happy. Yes, the budget moved from 27 trillion to about 28.7 trillion with very verifiable justification, and we are excited that we are all working in one accord, and Nigerians will benefit. So we have returned the country to the January to December budget cycle.
This is the budget that the Nigerian people are waiting for. This is the budget of the Nigerian people are yearning for, and we'll make sure that together we'll be able to deliver it well. And I would also want to take you a little back for you to know the progresses we have made. This day is not only recorded in history as the day we have signed the budget of 2024. Mr. President has signed two other bills. The first one is the bill, the Supplementary Appropriation Bill of 2023, which he has graciously accepted to extend it by 90 days. So it will continue to work concurrently with the 2024 budget up to 31st March. He has also graciously approved the 2023 main budget for it to also concurrently operate with the capital component of the 2023 budget to work concurrently with the budget of 2024 up to 31st March 2024.
The 28.8 trillion naira budget, as you say, has been signed into law by Mr. President, so it's immediate implementation, and it's a very hopeful budget, one that will really inspire Nigerians and I think encourage them to really, those who are investors, to come out and invest, and even those who rely on government, such as school children and the education sector, they have a lot to benefit. But overall, the change in this budget is that it is focused on growing the economy, so that the capital expenditure is larger than the recurrent expenditure. Over 10 trillion naira is going to be the capital expenditure, whereas the recurrent is just about 8.8 trillion naira. So I think that shows the direction of travel. It shows that we can expect an economy rejuvenated, regalvanized, and set for growth.
That is all we have on the program this week. You can follow TVC News on X to get fresh updates and breaking news from the National Assembly. Also, you can watch a repeat broadcast of this episode on Sunday, 7 a.m. on TVC News. You can also see this episode again on TVC News YouTube channel. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching, and compliments of the season. I am Tijesu Adewi. See you next time.